Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation. Shalom, 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 and Shabbat shalom. Yasharal and Yahuah, grafted in Gentiles in the body of Mashiach. All praises to the Most High Yahuah. I lift his name up, I magnify his name, because Yahuah's been good to me. Yahuah in Yahushua HaMashiach has established me in this witness. He's been good to me. Listen, he's been good to me. And I just want to say thank you, Yah. And he's been good to me, so very good to me. I just want to say thank you, Yah. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I give you praise. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I give you praise. Yahuah, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. Yahuah, because you are great and greatly to be praised. You're not just good, you are great and greatly to be praised. Yahuah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. Yahuah, allow by your Ruach Ha'Qodesh me to speak the words that are necessary for those who have an ear to hear. Yahuah, I am in this for the kingdom witness. I have come here to this place to be a witness to the kingdom, to establish those who you have called and chosen, Yahuah, to baptize and to impart spiritual gifts. As Shaul has declared, as Yahushua has declared, by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, Yahuah, I give you praise. Yahuah, I pray right now in the name of Yahushua Mashiach, that I will not cause anyone to stumble, anyone to be turned out of the way, anyone to come up lame. Yahuah, I can't take that charge. I can't be responsible for that. Yahuah, that's who I submit to you. I need you to lead me. I need you to guide me. I need you to govern me. I need you to take the reins. I need you to do it all, Yahuah. Yahuah, I give you praise. Yahuah, let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Hallelujah. Peace. Hallelujah. Peace. Yahushua HaMashiach raised from the dead, establishing us in the witness. Peace. Cleansing me from sin consciousness, establishing me in the righteousness of Yahuah. Peace. A new covenant, a renewed covenant in the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, being born again of the water and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, established in the witness. You see, that's why we here. That's why we here. That's why we do what we do. Because I've been made free. I ain't under the bondage of sin any longer. Leaven doesn't have reign in me, don't rule in me. I've been made free. My temple is the temple of Yahuah. He dwells in me. Where Yahuah dwells, ain't no sin dwelling. Where Yahushua dwells, ain't no sin dwelling. He be good to me. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, I want you to know Yahuah's been good to me. I am on location in Connecticut, right, waiting for my people to come and be blessed. I'm gonna be here for a week, so we gonna have a good time in Yahuah. Listen, Yahuah's been good to me. He has caused me to get here safely. He has caused me to be a blessing this far. And I'm just grateful to Yahuah. Because see, this ain't got nothing to do with me. This ain't got nothing to do with me. It's got everything to do with Yahuah. It's got everything to do with the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Being established in his Basor and his Torah of truth. Listen, being willing to do whatever he needs me to do to get the job done. Because see, this is why I do this. I do this to get the job done. And the job done is to reach those who Yahuah has chosen for receive the witness, that they may be established in Emunah and in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, and go forth with signs following, producing fruit for the kingdom. Yeah, listen. I came here to produce fruit. And my prayer is that the fruit that is produced, that it would remain. Listen, you don't hear me. I came here to produce fruit. I came here to declare the Besorah and the Torah of truth. I came here to establish men and women in this witness. That's what I'm here to do. It don't matter. All I am concerned about is doing what Yahuah called me to do. And that's to be the witness of the Besorah and the Torah of truth. Now listen, understand something. You know, we celebrating Pesach now. I have brethren in the witness that have celebrated Pesach already. And hallelujah. Listen, hallelujah. Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, we're all, right, waiting for the establishment of the kingdom of Yahuah and Yahushua to put everything back in its order. Because it's out of order, right? There's still things that are out of alignment and out of order, right? But Yahushua is going to bring it to order. Listen, that's why it's more than just the Torah, the Besorah only. It's more than just you saying, well, I have Torah. Well, I have Yah only. Or, well, I have turned to Yahuah. Listen, you got to be established in Yahushua. You got to be established in this witness. You got to be born again. You got to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Listen, these are essential to being a part of Yahuwah's kingdom. And without it, Pesach don't mean nothing. Hebrew, without the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, you could participate in the Pesach every year. You could say that you keep Torah. You could say all of that. But unless you're in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, listen, it's all in vain. It's all vanity. It don't matter how many people you get to celebrate Pesach. It doesn't matter how many people come in unleavened bread. Listen, if you haven't received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, you haven't been born of the water and of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, if you haven't received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the water and the blood, listen, you're lost. You ain't gonna win. You're losing. You got to be established in Yahushua HaMashiach and his witness. Listen, we going in. Listen, man, if y'all women understand this, we about the Besorah and the Torah of truth. We about the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. And for us who are in this witness, Pesach is a remembrance of Yahushua HaMashiach's witness. And it's gratitude, right? Because we know without the shedding of his blood, right, there's no remission of sins. Without the shedding of the blood, there's no Ruach. There's no Yahuah and Yahuah on the inside of this temple, this house, this dwelling, right? So in Yahushua HaMashiach's witness, in having received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the water and the blood, Pesach has already been established in us. And we just need to remember whose we are. We need to remember whose we are, who we belong to, who redeemed us, who purchased us. As often as we do this, we remember Yahushua HaMashiach. I praise Yahuwah for delivering my ancestors. I praise him. But they died in the wilderness, not having received the promise. Came out of Mitzrayim, had blood on the doorpost, right? Prepared a Passover lamb for the house, right? For the house, the dwelling. Put the blood on the doorpost. They partook of the lamb. But their consciousness wasn't removed. Their sin consciousness wasn't removed. They weren't purged from sin. That's why they died in the wilderness. They didn't even keep the Torah. Yosef, Joshua had to circumcise them all again. After 40 years in the wilderness, having received Torah, instruction. Had to die in the wilderness. Had a high priest. Had priests who were offering daily sacrifices, doing the service of Yahuah. Died in the wilderness. I'm celebrating the life of Yahushua HaMashiach's witness. I'm celebrating the fact that Yahushua HaMashiach fulfilled all things. I'm celebrating the fact that he who Yahuah has sent to be a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, he who Yahuah has said, sit down on my right hand until I make thy enemies thy footstool. He whom Yahuah says, he quickened, you have he quickened, who were once dead in your sins, raised us up, caused us to sit together in heavenly places in Mashiach. That's why I'm about this witness. That's why I'm about Pesach. Pesach is more than just leaven in your house. Pesach is more than just blood on your doorpost. You got to have that blood applied to you. That blood has to cleanse you of all sin consciousness. You have to be washed. You have to go through ceremonial washing. You have to be baptized. You have to go in and come out. You got to go in the grave and come out of the grave. Man, if y'all just, we going there. Now, we left off at Corinthians, the 7th chapter, right? 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter. And, you know, Paul was in the 6th chapter. Let's go to the 6th chapter real quick. In the 6th chapter, right, Shaul was talking about law and going against your brother. And towards the latter part of that chapter, he started talking about how your body, right, is a temple of Yahuah, right? Yahushua HaMashiach has purchased your body for Yahuah. Yahushua, right? He suffered the penalty, the death sentence that was imposed on you by your ancestors. Yahushua satisfied that sentence and brought you back to Yahuah, right? So now you become his possession. Because you become his place to dwell. Because he ain't dwelling in churches. He ain't dwelling in buildings made of stone. Yahushua has made Yahuah's tabernacle in you. Titus Vespasian destroyed the temple in Jerusalem, right? He destroyed it, right? And no matter how much they tried to build it up over there, right? Doesn't matter what Ashkenaz do. The temple that Yahuah erects has to be erected by Yahuah. And Yahuah has caused the priesthood to decay, to fade away. Levi remains, but the high priest order, the governing order of the priesthood, is Yahushua of the tribe of Yehuda, of which there was never spoken of, right? And being a priest, but Yahuah has sworn and will not repent that Yahushua is a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Yahushua is that high priest after the order of Melchizedek. He has established you in Yahuah. He's done it all. He's been the high priest, right? He is the lamb that taketh away the sins of the world. He's the one that died on our behalf so that our bodies could be Yahuah's temple. Now, Shaul goes to talk to them about, will I take the body of Yahuah and join it with a harlot? Will I take the temple of Yahuah and make it one with harlotry? Will I take the temple of Yahuah and join it with fornication? Right? Now, Yahuah lives in you, right? The Ruach Ha'Qodesh of Yahuah lives in you, right? He has made you free from sin, sin consciousness, right? So you've been swept clean. There's no reason whatsoever for you to go and take the temple of Yahuah and join it with a harlot. Yahuah does not dwell in unclean temples. Yahuah's presence is not manifested in unclean temples. The Ruach Ha'Qodesh does not function in unclean temples. I heard a brother once say, you can lust, right? Feel your lust and have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. What? That's lunacy. That goes against everything that the scripture says. Goes against everything the scripture says. It goes everything against what Torah says. How you gonna covet and have the spirit, the Ruach of Yahuah? You ain't even had a Ruach of Yahuah under Torah. So you could sin under Torah and lust, but you were still gonna be in violation of Torah. Even having received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach in righteousness and be established in Yahuah, having the Ruach Ha'Qodesh in you, you can't sin. Yahuah ain't gonna occupy your temple. That's why he says, Shaul says, and we're going to do this real quick because we're going to go into chapter 7 of Corinthians. But Shaul says, all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient, right? Everything is lawful, but not everything is of benefit to me. It's not going to work for my good, right? Now, he says, and all things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power, the dominion, the control of all things, right? And now, there's only two things that are operating in this earth, righteousness and unrighteousness. Either you're a child of Yahuah or you're a child of Hasatan. And the children of Yahuah are distinct because they have received the witness of Yahushua and they have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh on the inside. So with the Ruach Ha'Qodesh on the inside, you now become a son of Elohiym. He says, for love now we the sons of Elohiym, because we received this Ruach Ha'Qodesh. And it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, Yahushua HaMashiach, we shall be like him, or as he is, right? Now, what we have in the Ruach is in measure. And what we have to do is by this Ruach Ha'Qodesh that we have in measure, we have to be led by it, right? We have to let Yahuah lead us in our hearts. We have to know that Yahuah is leading us, and then we got to be led. We got to go where he says to go. We got to do what he says he do. He told me I need to come to Connecticut. Guess what? I'm here in Connecticut, right? Because Yahuah has ordered these steps because I choose to be led by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. And in so doing, I can count on Yahuah to do everything I need because in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, he's equipped me, right? He has given me everything I need to get the job done. So all I got to do is I got to go forth in this Ruach and understand that he is now in me. I am a temple of Yahuah Elohiym. He is in me. I am in him. The Ruach Ha'Qodesh is everything to me. I am born again of water and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. His blood cleanses me from all unrighteousness. This tabernacle is a house. It belongs to Yahuah. The blood has been applied. It has cleansed this house. And Yahuah, by his Ruach Ha'Qodesh, has set his approval on it by giving me his Ruach Ha'Qodesh. He said, listen, I won't be brought under the dominion of these things. Why? Because I have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh of Yahuah in me. I'm not going to be brought under the bondage of fornication. I'm not going to be brought under the bondage of lust. I'm not going to be brought under the bondage of pornography. I'm not going to be brought under the bondage of anything, right? Because Yahuah is my righteousness, and I am in him and he in me. My body is a temple of Yahuah Elohiym. And because my body is a temple of Yahuah Elohiym, listen, I can't do anything. I can't do everything. Listen, I don't want to do everything. I don't want nothing to do with porneia in any form. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't want anything to do with porneia, right? He says, I will not be brought under control of anything. I ain't gonna be brought under control of anything. He goes on to say, he says, meat for the belly, right? So we eat meat, right? And eat meat, when we eat meat, it's processed in the belly, right? It benefits the belly. Now, you would have those that say that we were made to eat vegetables, right? Well, yeah, okay, well, that's fine. You know, I eat vegetables, right? But I eat meat too, right? The time may come that Yahuah says, okay, we ain't eat no more meat. We eating just vegetables, right? Right? The whole idea that your body is alkaline and that you're supposed to put things in your body that merges naturally with your body. I get that. I do. I get that. But I don't have anything in the Torah that says to me that I can't eat meat. Right? And I'm not going to accept everything you have to say in reference to me eating meat, right? Because it's lawful for me. It's lawful for me. I can eat meat. Torah says I can eat meat. I'm eat meat. I can eat vegetables. There's certain meats I can't eat. I ain't eating everything. And I definitely can't eat it if it's got blood in it. I'm not doing it, right? Because it's a violation of Torah. But meat is for the body. He said meat is for the body. He says meat for the body and the body for meat. And Elohiym is going to destroy both of them, right? So at the end of the day, what you put in, right? Meat, food, whatever you use, whatever you put in, listen, at the end of the day, right? Yahuah is going to bring both of them to naught, right? He's got power over both of them, right? And if you have his Ruach Ha'Qodesh, he should have power over you, right? You have to develop a spiritual discipline that causes Yahuah's Ruach to lead you, therefore governing you, right? Directing you, right? You got to be spiritually disciplined. You got to discipline yourself to pray. You got to discipline yourself to read the word. You got to discipline yourself to fast. You got to discipline yourself to pray. You got to discipline yourself because it is in the mind that the battle is waged. It is in the mind, the self-talk between you and Hasatan, right? His suggestions that draws you into a way of thinking, right? That can cause you, if you're not aware or not disciplined, to allow yourself to move back into something that Yahuah has delivered you from, right? It can happen, right? But you know, in what Yahusha has done in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh has established you, right? Right? You can do what Yahuah has called you to do. You have what you need to get the job done, right? Because faith is knowing that Yahuah has got you. You have to believe. You have to have emunah in the word of Yahuah. Have to have emunah in the word of Yahuah. So he says, belly for the meat and meat for the belly, but Elohiym shall destroy both and them. Both it and them, right? Now the body's not for fornication, right? The body is not for illicit sexual behavior. The body is not for illicit sexual behavior, right? That Strong's word is porneia, right? Porneia is, by definition, right? Let me go back up. Let me hit you with the word again.
Strong's G 4202.
4202. Porneia. I said porneia. I said porneia. It is from the word porn, P-O-R-N, right? And everybody knows what porn is, right? It's porn, right? Everything that has to do with porn is fornication, right? And you know, you got to be careful because your eyes, right? Your eyes causes your brain to register, right? And establish desires based on what it sees. If you spend time in visually entertaining your mind in pornea, it's going to eventually take hold of your body and you're going to fulfill the lust thereof, right? It's pornea. It's porneia, right? It is illicit sexual intercourse, fornication, right? This illicit sexual intercourse is adultery, y'all know it, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals. This is Strong's Concordance. This is Blue Letter Bible. It says it is sexual intercourse with close relatives, right? Incest, son and daughter. Paul was talking to the church of Corinth about a son that had his father's wife, and how that wasn't not even amongst the Gentiles. He said that's not even amongst the Gentiles. Listen, that's abominable. That he should take his father's wife. He should have his father's wife. Pornea, right? Because your eyes visually see, sends that message to the brain responds by lust. Lust manifests itself in your body, and it's a matter of time before the need for the gratification is manifested. Pornea. Fornication. Fornication is intercourse between a divorced man or a divorced woman. Fornication. Adultery. Fornication is between a man who ain't married and a woman ain't married. It's still fornication. So, right? Shaul says, he says, now the body, right? Because it is the temple of Yahuah. You have received this witness, this Yeshua, this salvation, right? You've received this born again experience. And again, I'm not talking about Christianity, because Christianity under Constantine, who was the Pontifex Maximus of the Christian church, right? He took what Yahuah gave in the Besorah, in the Torah, the Bible, the CEPHER, right? And he went into the four corners of the earth and he profaned it, right? Right? The witness of Yahushua HaMashiach did not look nothing like the Christian church. The witness of Yahushua HaMashiach did not resemble what you see occurring in the Christian church. It's not what you see that's occurring in this Catholic religion, right? The witness of Yahushua HaMashiach was a Hebraic way of life that reestablished a people with a relationship with their Elohiym. And it introduced this witness, this relationship, Yahuah Elohiym, to a people that did not know him, right? That's about a relationship. It has nothing to do with a religion, right? It has nothing to do with how all of what you see that has evolved into out of Christendom, because all religion of Christianity came from Constantine and the Pope, right? The vicar, the replacement of Yahushua, right? You are indoctrinated into an ideology that has spawned, right, from a Torah and a Torah and Besorah that was of a people in a relationship that was about a people with their relationship with their Elohiym, and it has developed and spawned into this Christian thing that in reality, right, is a spawn, right? It's a spawn of Hasatan. It's a spawn, right? Listen, how can you say that there is a place in the church, the Christian church, for transgenders, transsexuals, homosexuals, lesbians. Not in Yahushua Mashiach's church. And not in the assembly that Shaul is speaking about, because we just read here that he said, Elohiym has both raised Yahuah, he says, but meat is for the belly, and belly for meat, but Elohiym shall destroy them both. Now the body, right, is not for fornication. We understand, and we already talked about what fornication is. Therefore, if fornication is these things, right, and it's not for Yahuah or Adonai Yahuah, and the Yahuah is for the body. So fornication is not for the body. It is not meant to be housed recklessly, participated in, right? This house, right? This house is not made for fornication with the witness of Yahushua Mashiach in it and with the witness of Yahushua Mashiach out of it. Especially with the witness of Yahushua Mashiach in it, right? Because the witness of Yahushua is in you, right? But even if you don't have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, you weren't made for fornication. Your body wasn't made for that. Your body was made for a union between a man and a woman, right? Natural union, right? And I know, I'm going to get some pushback, but that's from people who are supporters of fornication. Pushback comes from people who are supporting fornication. I'm not talking a lifestyle. I'm talking fornication. I'm talking about what comes as a result of fornication, right? You can't say that there's a place in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, having received the Ruach of Yahuah on the inside of you. There's a place for you to continue in sin, because fornication is sin. No, so I don't care who you are, and I heard TD Fakes say that in the interview. There's a place. He said some of his best friends are transgender. Huh? Some of his best friends are lesbians and homosexuals, right? He said there's a place for them. Yahuah says he's reserved their place for Sheol and destruction. Now, listen, in the Christian church, y'all can do what y'all want to do, because this is not that, right? This is not that. So if you get offended, we don't do that. That's not the way of the Yahudim that have received the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach. I ain't talking about Jesus and the Lord. I'm not talking about G-O-D. I'm not talking about Caesarea Borgia, right? I'm not talking about that image. I'm not talking about none of that, right? That's Christianity. You can have that. This is not this. And in this, Shaul says, right? Meat is for the belly, and the belly is for meat, but Elohiym shall destroy both in and them. Right? He says, now, the body is not for fornication. The body is not for porneia. The body is not for porneia. And the body is not for porneia from creation, because Yahuah created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve or Mary and Martha. He made natural unions for the purpose of establishing the erects, in order for it to be subdued and for them to have dominion, to be fruitful and multiply. Yeah, I know. Some of y'all ain't go. You can't read this and say that it's okay for fornicators to participate. It's okay not in the Hebraic, not in our established relationship with Yahuah Elohiym through faith in Yahushua Mashiach. You can't say that, right? You can't even say that Yahuah loved the homosexual. No, Yahuah hates what the homosexual do. And that's wickedness. It's an abomination. He hates them and it, right? His desire is that they would understand that that is destruction. Fornication is destruction. It destroys the flesh, right? He was open. That's why he told Shaul, said, listen, you caught this brother who had his father's wife, and y'all should have put him out the church. Should have put him out the assemblies. Turn him over to Hasatan. Hasatan would ravish his body, so that having had an experience, because he wasn't a brother. He wasn't a brother. He wasn't sincere about this witness. You don't take your father's wife, have her, right, and be sincere about the witness, because you ain't sincere about the witness, right? Now, the idea of Paul Shaul said, you should have dealt with that thing. And the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, you couldn't, but because you was carnal, because you ain't spiritually disciplined, you arguing over stuff that don't even matter when you should be dealing with Ruach stuff like this. Brother having his father's wife. That's a problem. You should have came together. You should have got brothers, dealt with the witnesses, because it's commonly reported under me. So you should have more than enough witnesses, because several people have told me what time it was. Right? You should put the brother aside. She just said, listen, brother, this is wrong. This is evil in the sight of Yahuah. You need to repent for the assembly. You need to repent, and you need to ask Yahuah to forgive you and to cleanse you. And if you do that, we're gonna restore you, right? But if you ain't gonna do that, you need to go, and we're gonna give you over to Hasatan. You can't come back here until you repent and you establish this witness amongst this assembly, and you recognized for your turning. Should have done it. See, because that's how the Yahudim have to deal with this issue, right? So how we got to deal with it. This is what Yahuwah's called us to do, right? You can't let sin run rampant in the assembly. You got to deal with it, no matter who it is. Don't matter who it is. Listen, you know what? You got sin running rampant in your assembly, and you got a brother that's participating in fornication, and you know it, and you don't do nothing about it. Judgment is coming. Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Because a little leaven leavens a whole lump. You're going to see the result of it. Oh yeah. Listen. The body's not for fornication, right? The body is Yahuwah's. He said the body's not for fornication, but for Adonai Yahusha. The body for Adonai Yahusha, right? Body for Adonai Yahusha. And Yahusha for the body. So, I give my body to Yahusha. Yahusha takes my body. It's his. You become the temple, the domain, the dwelling place. If you receive the witness of Yahusha. If you receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Because the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, you got to be baptized with that. The Ruach Ha'Qodesh is what sets you apart. You got to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Without the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, there's no quickening. There's no made alive. There's no establishing in the kingdom. That's why you said you got to be, you must be born again of the water and of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, because the Ruach Ha'Qodesh is what's going to establish you in the kingdom of Yahuah. You got to do it. You ain't going to get by without it. You ain't going to get by without it. And you got people teaching, oh, well, I don't speak in tongues no more because of the problems that it caused. What? Problems with who? What? I don't seek to speak in tongues. Okay, so what you're saying is you quenching the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? Right. So when you quench the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, it's a matter of time before you gonna even forget how to be led by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh because you're impeding his movement in you, right? So, and eventually what you're gonna do is you're gonna slip into carnality, right? Because you're not being moved by them. Listen, there's a reason why Yahushua said these signs gonna follow you, because they're necessary. They're gonna be evidence to you and evidence to those who hear you, those who are with you in the midst of you. They're gonna need signs, right? Especially Hebrews. Hebrews search for a sign. They look for a sign. Listen. These signs have to follow you. They're necessary. Yahuah has to have his presence in you. People have to know that Yahuah is in you. He says here in that 14th verse, right? And Elohiym haveth both raised up Adonai Yahushua. No, and Elohiym have both raised up Adonai Yahushua. It is Adonai Yahushua. And will also raise us up by his own Ruach power. Now we understand that he has quickened us, made us alive already, having received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. But we know that he's going to transform our body at the point in which he gathers us and establishes his kingdom. We ain't gonna be the same. I have his Ruach Ha'Qodesh. He's giving me what I need to get the job done. But you know what? I'm going to be like him. When he comes to gather me, changes me, I'm going to be like him. I'm going to be like Yahushua is. I'm going to be super. I'm going to be a super individual. I'm an L now because he's put his Ruach in me. Because he put his Ruach in me, I'm an L. Right? See, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Understand this. See, we the people of Yahuah, right? When we see the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? Quickens, make us alive. It transforms us. It affects our DNA. It affects everything about us. That's why you got to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Because Ruach Ha'Qodesh is going to transform your DNA. It's going to cause you to do supernatural things. You got to have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. You got to have Yahuah on the inside of you. You got to belong to Yahuah. How David was able to do what he do. Samson was able to do what he do. Because Yahuah put his Ruach Ha'Qodesh in these men. Right? And they were natural and they carnal. They was carnal. Samson, man. Samson, listen. He was driven by the desires of his eyes. He had to have a Philistine. He had to have that woman, Delilah. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes. That's why, as Yahuah, man, listen. Judah, listen. There are the testaments of the patriarchs, right? They're good listening to, good reading, right? And the patriarchs at the point of their death, they would always talk to and share with their descendants, their sons and their grandsons, their children, right? The things that befell them, and with the hopes of them receiving their testimony, right? And by their testimony, do the opposite of that which they did that caused them to be out of relationship with Yahuah, because they didn't want their children to experience that. And they would encourage them in the Torah and in the witness to take heed to the things that Yahuah has taught and the things that Yahuah requires in Torah. Because it's important. Because he's in you. Right? We become supernatural. We become supernatural. Listen, I believe the Ruach Ha'Qodesh altered my DNA on a structural level. The Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? It's a supernatural infusing of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh that makes me supernatural. That's why no weapon formed against me can prosper, right? Because Yahuah has naturally done something on the inside of me that made me supernatural. Right now, that doesn't mean I don't just go out and provoke Yahuah. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, I know I'm supernatural. Throw this spear at me to see if it'll go through and kill me. No, that's lunacy. That's ignorance, right? But I'm gonna tell you one thing: if I'm walking in the power of Yahuah's Ruach, doing Yahuah's word, being led by his Ruach HaQodesh, and some idiot jumps out and throws a spear at me, I guess you what, it's going to bounce off, or it's going to miss me, or it's going to go through me. Something supernaturally going to happen. My DNA is going to conform to the will of Yahuah and Yahusha. At that moment in time, whatever needs to happen supernaturally is going to happen because there's no weapon. Okay, so we're talking about our bodies. He says, what? Know ye not that he which is joined with a harlot, or he that is joined in the act of porneia, right? Right? Is joined himself with a harlot, is one with that? Literally, you become one with that individual, right? In a profane way, in a porneia way, a fornication way. You unite yourself with someone else. Right? You exchange, right, DNA, right? Their DNA becomes a part of you and your DNA becomes a part of them. You exchange, right? Right? And if it's a union between a man and a woman, right? Right? And they're married, the outcome is the producing of a child, if all things being equal, would share DNA. Right? But you have your wife's DNA in you every time you form an act of intimacy. You have her DNA in you, and she has your DNA in her, right? So the more you join, the more you share one another's DNA. You know, that's why, when people get older, you say, man, they look alike. And they look alike. They do things alike. Why? Because over the years, they've shared DNA with each other so much that they become a part of one another. They almost at times resemble one another. It's a fact, man. It's a fact. Because Yahuah is supernatural. That's just DNA, period. Right? That's DNA. But when you infuse it with the Ruach HaQodesh, right? The Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaQodesh of Yahuah. When the Ruach HaQodesh comes into you, it alters, it changes the molecular structure of your DNA. And at any given time, Yahuah can do supernaturally through you because you have his witness. You have him, right? And if you got him, you ain't going to join yourself with no harlot. I ain't walking outside and having sex with somebody. I ain't leaving my house. I ain't doing that. Listen, I ain't doing that. My wife ain't got to worry about me leaving the house and coming to Connecticut and doing something. She ain't got to worry about nothing like that because I ain't got no desire whatsoever to do that. No, you is altering my DNA. Actually, he's altered my DNA, and I have the Ruach HaQodesh in me, but I have disciplined my mind, right, in the Ruach HaQodesh and prayer and fasting and keeping the word before me to the place where when something comes, I recognize it and I deal with it. No, I said, what? No, get that out of here. Out of the blue, you driving, right? How's the time you look over? Hasatan will say something to you, you be like, get out of here, man. Get out of here with that. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach. I ain't receiving that. Because you belong to you. See, he's been good to me. I ain't gonna lie, he's been good to me. He's delivered me I understand who I am. Listen, you don't hear me. I understand who I am. I am Yahuah Ga'al. I am of the tribe of Yahudah. I am a Hebrew of Hebrew. I know where my DNA is. I know where I come from. I know who I am. I know, and having received the witness, I have everything I need to get the job done. My DNA has been changed molecularly, on a molecular level. When I received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, he's done something on the inside of me that sets me apart. He's established me in this witness. That's why he's been good to me. Listen, this is real. This is real for me. This is real. This is real. He says, listen, he says, what know ye not, that he that is joined with the harlot or porneia, the two shall become one flesh, right? And he that is joined to Yahuah is one spirit, one Ruach. When you join yourself with Yahuah, there's one Ruach, and that's the Ruach. And we receive Yahuah's Ruach. We become one. Ruach. Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Ruach Ha'Qodesh of Yahuah. Listen, you got to understand this. This is receiving the witness 101. You got to understand that. You got to understand that in this witness, man, listen. You become one with Yahuah. Right? He said, you flee fornication. You have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach in you. You got to run from anything that resembles fornication. You have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You have to flee from everything that represents fornication. Yeah, you don't want nothing to do with it. No, you don't want nothing to do with that. You don't want nothing to do with that. You don't want nothing to do with that. You don't want to do with that. Flee from it. Run from it. Run from it. Flee. Joseph ran from Potiphar's wife. She took his garment, snatched it off, and ran. He did the right thing. Yeah, he ended up in prison, but Yahuah had appointed that. Right? Because he had to go to prison. He had to be tried. He had to go through tribulation. He had to go through tribulation because it works. He had to go through tribulation because it works. And he did the tribulation joyfully. Yahuah elevated him where he was because he took tribulation right. Yahuah had him there because Yahuah was doing something in him. Yahuah was doing something in him. He was a young boy, like 17, 18, right? Young man, right? Being seduced by this man constantly, his wife. She lying on him. You was okay, get you past this. I don't know, she visited him down there when he was in prison too. Listen, he was in tribulation, but it worked. He was second only to Pharaoh in Egypt. It worked. Tribulation always works. Listen, Yahuah has caused tribulation to be a necessity for us, right? Because we are made perfect. We develop patience. We get established. We recognize it, and it becomes experience for us. And we know that in this tribulation, this thing that we're experiencing, in the end, Yahuah is going to work it together for our good because we love him. You see, that's what Joseph knew. And it was manifested, right? And listen, so you got to understand that, Yahuah, right? He says, flee fornication. Every sin that man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication, porneia, sinneth against his own body. So everybody that is in porneia, you sin against your old body. He said, listen, know ye not that your temple, your body is a temple? Your body is the temple of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh? Your body is a temple of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. You and you should live in you. Your DNA is altered, it's changed. Who you are is developed into something awesome. Listen, you got everything you need in him. He's been good to me. He's been good to me. So very good to me. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, y'all. Listen, I would never be who I am without Yahuah. I would never be who I am without the witness. And you know what? I'm about this. I'm about this. I'm about this. He said, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Ruach HaQodesh in you, which ye have of Elohiym, and you are not your own. You don't belong to yourself no more in this witness. See, now, if you ain't in the witness of Yahuah, then you belong to Hasatan. You ain't in the witness of Mashiach, you belong to Hasatan. Listen, he says, herein we know that the children of Yahuah and the children of Hasatan, or the children of Yahuah and the children of the devil, are distinct. The children of Yahuah do the will of Yahuah, which is in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. They obey. They receive the Ruach HaQodesh. They can keep the Torah and the commandments. They can fulfill Yahuwah's promise, Yahuwah's purpose in the earth. They have everything they need to get the job done. But the children of the devil, they just exactly opposite. They haven't received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Yeah, they know who they are now, but they ain't got the witness. They ain't received Yahushua Mashiach. They haven't received the Ruach HaQodesh, the water and the blood. You know. You aren't his. But we are, right? He says, for ye are bought with a price, Yahushua HaMashiach's sacrifice, right? Right? Therefore, glorify Elohiym in your body. Your body is the temple of Yahuah. Glorify Yahuah in your body. Right? Right? You don't yield your members as instruments of unrighteousness. You don't do that. Excuse me. You don't do that because you belong to his. You're bought with a price. Therefore, glorify Elohiym in your body and in your Ruach, which are Yahuah's. Glorify your body. Have signs following you. You said these signs will follow them that believe, that receive the witness. Have the Ruach HaQodesh. Let the signs follow you. Listen, that's why when I go for when I'm baptizing, I'm laying hands on you. You're gonna receive some spiritual gifts. You gonna, because I'm doing what he told me to do in Acts. See, listen, I know Yahuwah's Ruach. I know Yahuwah's power. I know what Yahuwah's Ruach can do, right? I'm glorifying Yahuwah in this Ruach. All right, let's get on to the 7th chapter. Now, so we know what we were talking about. We know what he's going into, right? Because he's talking about his theme is the same. He said, now listen. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it's good for a man not to touch a woman. Listen, it's good for a man not to touch a woman. Right, now let's look at that word touch. Right? That word touch in the Greek is
Strong's G 680. Haptama.
haptama.
Haptama. Thayer's Lexicon. Hapto.
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 To fasten oneself to. To cling to. Right? It's good for a man not to cling to a woman. Right? You know, it's important to understand that there's a difference between a Ruach kiss and a kiss that's not Ruach. There's a difference between a hug that's Ruach and one that's not Ruach. Right? It's a difference, right? Shaul says, listen, it's best for a man not to cling to. Especially a man who does not have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. A man is not in this witness. Right? And even if you are in this witness and you've received the witness of Yahushua Mashiach and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh is on the inside of you, if you are carnal, it's not good for you to touch anybody. It's not good. Right? Now, there's a way to hug people and there's a way not to hug people. Right? Shaul says it's better not for a man to touch a woman. Right? Right? To cling to. Right? It also references to touch carnal intercourse with a woman or cohabitation. So, Shaul is talking about touching a woman, right? Right, which leads to, quite possibly, when you clinging, you holding on, listen, it's quite possible, right? Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't be in here. He says, fasten oneself to adhere to, like tape, tape, it adheres to a surface of one piece of tape to bring the two together, to cling, to hold, to adhere to, right? To touch, right? Of Levitical practices of having no fellowship with heathen practices. Things not to be touched appear to be both women and certain kinds of food, celibacy, abstinence, and certain kinds, right? So the idea is don't cling to, right? Don't. Because listen, he says, it's good for a man not to touch a woman, right? He says it's a good thing. Right? It's a good thing. Right? It's a good thing, right? Because he doesn't put himself in a position to have to deal with mental pictures and feelings that come as a result of, right, clinging. Right? So it's better for a man not to touch a woman, right? Nevertheless, right? To avoid, nevertheless, because of porneia, let every man have his own wife. Right? So, the objective is that porneia is somehow satisfied with having a wife, right? Because you're a man. You know, as men, you know, you have natural desires and again, it's not a natural thing. It's just that in the unregenerate mind, listen, it's porneia, right? In the mind that has not been transformed by the Basar and the Torah of truth, in the mind that has not received the witness of Yahushua and Mashiach and the Torah of Yahuah, right? Have not renewed themselves and taken the Ruach Ha'Qodesh of truth along with the Torah of truth to help shape this way we think and, you know, it's best for a man not to touch a woman, right? And then let every man have his own wife and every woman her own husband, right? Because the idea is partially, listen, I understand, it's a natural thing. Yahuah declared it was not good for a man to be alone. You're going to make him a helpmeet suitable for him. Right? Right? He's got to help me. Helpmeet is suitable for him. Right? Right? A man is suitable with a woman. woman for man. Suitable helpmeet, right? And the desire is to avoid fornication, right? Homosexuality, lesbian, porneia, fornication, porneia, homosexuality, lesbianism, sex with close relatives, sex with animals, right? Sex with a married woman and a married man, divorced woman, divorced man, right? To avoid this, have your own wife. To satisfy the flesh element of things. But here's the thing, right? This is all it takes for a person who has the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. This should be all that it takes because you have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh on the inside of you. You have everything you need to get the job done, right? You know, you're single, right? You should be satisfied having received a man or a spouse that is in the witness of Yahushua, has the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? Does keeps Yahuwah's Torah and keeps himself unspotted, right? That man, you and him, get married, enjoying yourselves, should be good. You should have all you need. Should never have an issue with porneia. Because you have the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, you have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? You're doing what you need. You know, you the man, you leading your house. You know, you doing what's right before your wife, your children, right? You trusting in you. She's doing the same thing. Listen, you're going to be together because that's what the witness is going to yield in the midst of you, right? Right? But see, for those people who ain't got the witness, or you got a spouse that's not in the witness, and you in the witness, yeah, well, you know, you got some things you got to have to endure. Both sides of that fence. You got to make choices, right? But if you married already and you in that situation, well, you know, you got an unbelieving wife, unbelieving spouse, you know what the scriptures say in reference to that. You know, if you be willing to live with you and, you know, you sanctified, right? Right? You just got to stay in Yahuwah's witness. Trust in Yahuwah, depending on Yahuwah. Now, how know ye, woman, a man that, you know, you're not going to bring that unbelieving person into the place they need to be in Yahushua Mashiach's witness. How do you know? Especially if they be pleased to live with you. You know, they ain't dogging you out. You know, they ain't putting knots on your head. You know what I'm saying? They aren't always making you talking low. You know, doing all the things, you know, that, you know, unregenerate dudes, men can do, and women too. You know, you got some women, you got some Jadas. You got some narcissists, man. That's what they call them, narcissists. You know, they get pleasure from making other people, especially people that are close and intimate with them, feel bad. You know? Gotta ask yourself some questions. And this person ain't pleased to dwell with me, not like this. Abusing me, you know, using me. Yeah. He said, listen, everybody should have their own spouse to avoid fornication. Right? To avoid fornication. You know, some people just got that gift to where, you know, they don't need nothing. You know, they don't need nothing. They don't want nothing. They got that gift. Right? You know, it don't matter to me. Right? They got that gift. You know? He says, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. Give her what she needs. Give her what she needs. Do benevolence. Give her what she needs. Right? Because Yahuah expects that. Right? Right? Give her what she needs. Right? And likewise also, wife to her husband. Give him what he needs. Right? Because the objective is that you want that relationship in the Yahuah, that witness, right, to continue to be strengthened and grow. Right? You want. You want the witness that you both possess in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the walk that you both have to be fortified. Because you're both established in the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. And you both understand, right, what's going on. You know, so you pray for one another. You know, you fast with one another, for one another. Seek Yahuah, right? He says, do benevolence, wife or husband, right? He said, the wife has not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise, the husband has not power over his body, but the wife. See, my body belongs to Penny. Penny's body belongs to me. That's my wife, y'all. Penny, my wife. And we're responsible to one another, right? In the witness of Yahushua. See, now again, this system ain't what the world goes by. You know, the world is always about what's me, what's mine. You know, my needs getting met. Everything is about me, 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 me. But in the Hebraic witness, we understand that it's not about me, it's about her. It's not about her, it's about me. It's about us. And it's about us making sure that we are in Yahuah and Yahushua together in this witness, right? Moving to the advancement of Yahuwah's kingdom, right? Trusting Yahuah over our relationship. It's what it is, right? He says, listen, defraud ye not one another except with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, and Hasatan tempt you not with your inconsistency. So, Hebrews, or even Gentiles in this witness that are established in Yahushua Mashiach witness, right? If you have a relationship with someone and you both are in the witness of Yahushua HaMashiach, there's this mutual understanding that should occur when it comes to consecration of oneself, right? Setting of oneself apart, right? And in so doing it for the purpose of, spiritual discipline, right? You're going to spiritually discipline your physical body, and you're bringing your body into a place where you're dedicating it to Yahuah and for a period of time. Like what you're doing, right? And that's why you do it, right? Right? You don't use sex. You don't use your intimacy, right, as a weapon, right? You don't decide you're gonna get mad at him and you gonna throw that silent treatment on for months, for days, for weeks. That's narcissist behavior, right? You don't do that, right? Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You always got a headache. And I'm not talking men only. I'm talking women. I'm talking both sides. See, the world doesn't function like we do. The world does what they want to do, right? They don't. They don't function like we do, right? In the world system, your wife, she get an attitude not because she don't want to do nothing. Okay, you go hit that, you hit that side piece. The side piece don't mind being a side piece because she don't really want to be bothered with you all the time, right? But she's satisfied in whatever, right? you know, or that guy that you can go run out and he give you a quickie. Call it a quickie. He give you a quickie. You can run back home in time to cook dinner and have everything at the house right, 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 right. You full of pornography, going to hell, right? That's the world's way, right? It's the world's way. The world's way is you coming home, you got you wife and kids, and you're like, hey, I'm going out with the boys. You going out to do the boys. Because you on the low. Pornography. Fornication. Let it not be once named among you as becometh Kodeshim. Right? That ain't a part of what we do. But in the world, they do that. Oh, yeah, they do that. They do that. Oh, God, this is real. This is what they do. Right? See, that's not what we do. Right? We don't defraud one another, except with consent. Look, man, I'm gonna be dedicated to Yahuah for a while. As soon as I'm finished, I'm coming back. I just need you to give me time to do it. It is what it is. So for consent of time, it may be yourselves of fasting and praying. And too, sometimes, you got people that's got medical problems. Right? You got a spouse that's got a medical problem, right? Something is going on the inside of her, where it's painful, right? Right? Till she get that thing right, you got to be courteous and respectful and love her, right? You don't be like, oh, I'm gonna go hit this dime piece, I'm gonna hit this side piece while you get your worked out. No. That's your time to fast and pray. It's your time to get closer to Yahuah. Yeah, it's time to discipline your mind. You may have a man that, he's got an issue, right? He's maybe got low testosterone, medical condition. It happens, right? Then it may have nothing to do with, may take more work, But you got to understand where people are, and then you got to get together, and you got to trust you, and you got to pray, and you got to seek the Most High, and do what you need to do, right? To keep yourselves in the love of you. Because we don't want Hasatan to get in because of our inconsistency, right? You got to communicate. You got to talk. You got to communicate in this witness. You got to talk, right? You got to talk. You got to communicate. Listen, man, just because, you done had that wife and she done produced 7 kids, right? Sometimes 1, 2 kids, 1 kid, right? Right? She gonna change. She gonna change. Body gonna change. She gonna change. Body gonna change. But if you're in the witness and she in the witness, it should make a difference. If anything, y'all should be pulling together. If you both need to lose weight, lose weight. She needs to lose weight, motivate her and help her. Support her in it. Right? She did that for you. She had them kids for you. She bore them kids for you. Right? She did that. Right? She did that for you and her. She did that. Right? You got to respect that. Right? You got to understand that. You got to love her through that. You got to keep her feeling like she's still that 5'5", 120-pound girl when she may be that 5'5" and 150-pound girl. Gotta do what you gotta do. Because you know what? You love her. She loves you. It's the commitment. And it's work. Listen, man. And as you get older, you know, you slow down. Things change, right? But your love shouldn't change, right? Because you're in the witness. Both of you. You're in the witness. You're in Yahuah and Yahusha. You know, you're both fasting. You're both praying. You're both seeking Yahuwah's face. You're seeking him for the wisdom and the guidance. You know, you're trusting in him. There's no reason why you can't do and be everything that Yahuwah has for you to do and be. All right, let's go down a little bit further. Okay, so he said, I speak this by permission. It's not a commandment. He said, I'm telling you this. It's not a commandment, but, you know, I'm doing it because in Yahuwah, I have permission. Right? Right? For I would that all men were even as myself. Right? Shows like, look, man, you know, I ain't about chasing women. I ain't about it. I'm about the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. He said, listen, I wish all was like myself. But every man haveth his proper gift of Elohiym, one after this manner and one after another. Paul said, listen, I ain't married. I don't have no desire to be married. I ain't running around here wanting somebody else. I want somebody's wife. I don't want a woman. I don't want to be married. Paul understood where he was in his gift, right? He didn't struggle with that. He said, I'm telling you this by permission, because I ain't got a wife. But Yahuwah's giving me wisdom, and I'm giving it to you. He said, I myself, but every man haveth his proper gift. 2 Corinthians 7:7 of Elohiym. One after this manner and one after another. Right? Right? I say, therefore, to the unmarried and widow. Unmarried and widowed. You who ain't married and widowed, for it is better to marry than to burn. Right? Why not the widow? Because the widow, she's used to companionship. She's used to intimacy. She's used to having someone there. Right? You know, get married again. Because you're going to have to deal with those feelings, those desires. Right? 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 He says, to the unmarried, right? Right? He said to the unmarried and the widowed, get married. Because, you know, you're going to see all these people in relationships with husbands and wives. And, you know, you're going to start to want that. And your mind going to cause you to lust for stuff. And don't get into that. Get married. Get married. Somebody who loves Yahuah. Hard working, right? Demonstrates by the Ruach Ha'Qodesh he can be trusted. And the witness get married. He says, I say therefore to the unmarried and to the widow, it is good for them if they abide even as they are. Even if they abide even as they are. So that means if you're widowed and you're married, stay a widow and unmarried. But, right, in the case that you can't marry, he said, but if they cannot contain, or if they know that they need the companionship of a man, right, rather than to engage in sexual fornication, illicit sexual desire, right, to get married, right? It's better to marry than to burn. It's better to marry than to lust. It's better to marry than to have to fight these desires, right? It's better to marry than to have to fight the desires. Because in this witness, you're going to have to fight the desires if you're single. Unless you got that gift. If you're married and you're a widow, You're going to have to fight them desires because you have a desire to have somebody with you. You do have a desire, intimacy. You have a desire, right? He says, and unto the married I command, not I, but Yahuah, let not the wife depart from her husband. Listen, you're married, stay married, right? Now, if he put speed knots on your head and he knocking you out, he threatening you, he put guns to your head, now he's crazy. Get out of that. No. And if he put his hands on you, you need to touch some bruise. And you need to share your testimony with some bruise. You coming into the assembly and you got knots on your head? You need to have some bruise visit you. You need some bruise to put some knots on his. Teach him some reverence. Or you can press charges on him and have him put in jail. Right? But listen, the idea is that that's not what he means. Right? Your husband is going out committing fornication. Your husband is out there on the low. No, he in pornonia. That's why Yahuah is giving exception to that. No, get out of that. He came back and gave you something permanent, life-threatening. No, you can't do it. Can't do that. Can't do that. No. So that's not what he means. Right? But if you married, right? And you just got some problems that you feel like you don't want to work through, then you stuck. And you ain't got no reason. You better figure out a way to work it out. You better get with that elder and get with that Ima, right? Get with some of them Makotis, right? Find out what they're doing to make their marriage successful. And you might just need to change you. If you change you might change him. How do you know, old woman? How do you know, old man? Right? Okay. We go. Let me see where we at now. He said, let not the wife depart from her husband. But if she departs, let her remain unmarried. So if she gets divorced, let her stay divorced. Right? Let her stay divorced. Or be reconciled to her husband. Right? Let her divorce. Or let her depart, or let her come back to her husband. Now, she can't come back to her husband. She'll be with another man. She can't come back to. He can't come back to his wife if you've been married to another woman. Once you leave a spouse, right? You leave a spouse, you divorce that spouse, right? You divorce that spouse and you get married to another spouse, right? You can't come back to that house. Spouse. Of course, unless that spouse dies. I think that's how that goes. I might need to tighten my understanding of that up. But listen, the idea is that you don't leave your husband and go marry another and come back. You leave him, and if you leave, you come back. It's like understanding the relationship between the Most High and or the prodigal son. You're in a relationship with your father. You leave it, you go do what you want to do, then you won't come back. Well, listen, you got to understand. In the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the witness of Yahushua, if you walk away from a spouse, the expectation is that you return to that spouse. Right? He says, and if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband, and let not the husband put away the wife. So same thing applies to both. He says, but to the rest I, not the Adonai, right? If a brother haveth a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. So he says, what I was just told you was Adonai Yahushua when it comes to what should be done. He says, but the rest speak I. I am sharing you what I think, right? not Adonai Yahusha, right? If any brother haveth a wife that believeth not, right, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away, right? You know, she pleased to dwell with you. Don't put her away. Point blank, period. Right? You know, so that, and so, you know, that has, you have to deal with the fact that, you know, oh, well, you know, they ain't in the witness. So I'm going to put her away. Nah. You just came into the witness. You received this witness. You received this word. You've been sanctified. You've been made righteous through the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. Listen, right? It's an established fact, right? Now you need to, if she wants to stay with you, get with the program. Period. Get with the program. Because Yahuah expects you to stay with her. No, actually, Shaul said, he says it, not Yahuah. Right? He qualifies it. He says, not Adonai Yahuah, but me. Right? He says, and the woman which haveth an husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Right? Because now you got an unbelieving wife. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are ye holy. Why? Because your believing spouse is sanctified the house, the place, the dwelling. So your children are sanctified, you sanctified. Right? Right. They covered. Some things you should do just because it's right. No, not some things. All things you should do because it's right. It's right to take care of a woman that you married. Even though you've received this witness and you've been made alive by Yahushua Mashiach, and she ain't walking exactly like that. Right? Yes, she believes in Yahuah, right? But you know, she ain't reading Torah every day. She ain't fasting. She ain't doing that, right? But she be pleased to live with you. What you gonna do? You gonna love her, and you gonna let her be pleased to live with you because she's sanctified. He's sanctified. Again, I ain't talking about somebody speeding, putting speed knots on your head. I'm not talking about somebody out on the low. I ain't talking about nobody out there having sexual intercourse outside of the relationship. I ain't talking about none of that. That stuff is wicked, evil, diabolical. Put them away. You know, and you know, some people will say, well, you know, you need to stay with that man. You know, stay with that man. But you know, you got to consider, you got to count the cost. You stay with that man. You ain't gonna do anything outside of the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, right? Right? And if you stay, you know, it may mean you have a roof over your head until he decides to leave you. And then you back at square one. Or, you know, maybe he stays. Maybe he does what's right. Eventually gets it. You never know. But you know what? That's the beauty of being Yahuah's. Having his Ruach Ha'Qodesh and having changed your DNA. Having you be able to be led by this Ruach Ha'Qodesh. There's beauty in it. Okay. Well, we're going to stop there because this is a long chapter. We're going to stop right there, right? Right? He says let me do the 16th verse. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save husband, or how knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save the wife? See, because your witness is affecting your spouse. Right? It's affecting your spouse. And if that spouse is content to be with you and to do what's right by you, how you know you ain't slow walking them? you ain't doing nothing, right? Because tribulation works. Yeah, you're going through tribulation, but it works. Yeah, you want him to serve you, who and love you, who will like you, but he's not. But he ain't an evil man. He ain't doing wrong. He paying bills. He's taking care of the house. He's cutting the grass. He's doing everything you need him to do. What? Oh, no, you're not. You won't save. You may save. You don't know. Right? But tribulation worketh. Listen, Elohiym was 70 years old, 75 years old, between 70 and 75 years old. He was an older man, right? When he was told that he was going to have Yitzhak. When he was told he was going to have, Isaac, right? He had Ishmael. Ishmael was like 15, 16 years old when Yitzhak was born, right? But Ishmael wasn't a child of promise. Yitzhak was, right? Wasn't that he didn't have any kids. He just didn't have the promised seed. The promised seed wasn't Ishmael. It was Isaac. Because Sarah was the one who was going to have the son, right? Sarah was, I think I've been saying she was 100 years old. I think Sarah was 90 years old. Sarah was 90 years old. Abraham was 100 years old, right? When Yitzhak was born. So if I said 100 years old for Sarah, y'all know it's 90, She was old. She was old. Listen. But still he received the promise. How do you know, woman? How do you know, man? That unbelieving wife that is satisfied with being with you, she gonna do everything she need to do by you. She gonna cook your meals. She gonna wash your clothes. She gonna go out and work. She gonna help with bills. She gonna give you everything. She gonna do what she can for you because she loves you. Yeah, well, she ain't in the witness yet. She ain't fighting you over it. She ain't arguing with you about being Hebrew. Gotta get a clue. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, called the greatness, woman of Yahuah, beautifully, wonderfully made. That's it. Again, we are on location in Connecticut. And it's a beautiful thing. So, Yahuah, I pray right now for these that are under the sound of my voice. I pray that they will receive your word, that it would go forth in them and not return void, but it would establish in them emunah, life, quicken them, make them alive. Yahuah, I pray that nothing that I've said has caused anyone to stumble or be turned out of the way. Yahuah, I love you. My desire is to glorify you in everything I do, to bring you praise. I'm here because you've given me the power to go forth. You've given me everything I need to get the job done. I thank you for altering my DNA with the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Thank you for putting in me that which is you and Yahushua. It is the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. I give you praise for this witness. I thank you, Yahuah. I pray that the witness in them would come with signs following, and that they would understand it. And I praise you for Pesach. I praise you for Yahushua HaMashiach's blood. I praise you for Yahushua HaMashiach's unleavened bread. I praise you for all that he has established in his witness in me, the fulfillment in Pesach. I give you praise. Yahuah, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, my strength and my redeemer. Man of Yah, woman of Yah, that's all we got. Again, we are excited and praising Yahuah And we're going to continue to magnify his name because you know, he's been good to me. He's been good to me. He's been good to me. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Yah. Listen, with that I say, shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shalom, Shabbat shalom. Man, if y'all want with y'all be Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.